Hello, grandmother, grandma. Just the word evokes fond memories for most people. The grandmother receiving this gift is one of 10 siblings. She's currently 80 years of age, so she has seen the world change a great amount during her life so far. She loved to cook and bake as so many of her generation did. She always hosted the family get-togethers like holidays and other things like birthdays, cooking more food than could be eaten so everyone could take some home with them. Her favorite dessert to make was lemon meringue pie. I like that one a lot also. With her dessert, she inspired her granddaughter to become a baker, and now that granddaughter has her own baking business. When the customer asked me about these, I immediately thought of the Padauk I had on the shelf. I love the orange color of Padauk, even though it darkens over time. The first thing I did was cut a couple of blanks from the 4 5/8 inch wide board. A fork and spoon from our kitchen set were used as the models. I wanted the finished product to closely resemble the models, so I took measurements and then figured out the percentage of width and height for each element of each piece. Armed with those percentages, I was able to scale them to the blanks I had cut, and of course the pieces were scaled to each other proportionally. Freehand drawing is an area where I have a lot of room for improvement, but I did the best I could. Getting left and right to match is very difficult. After the details were sketched on the blanks, it was off to the bandsaw to cut out the tines of the fork. I didn't want to chance breaking them after the stock was thinner. While the blanks were still full thickness, it was best to cut the outlines as well. Then the benchtop sander was brought out to shape the curves of the tines and the bowl of the spoon. Once that was done, I returned to the bandsaw to remove about half the thickness of the handle portions. It was at this time that I started to etch the details with the Dremel. This is the first time I have tried this, but the thing is, I will get better over time. I think it turned out pretty good for a first-timer. You develop a feel for the thing pretty quickly, but getting left and right the same is something I will need more practice on. After the spoon, I moved on to the fork. When I was satisfied with the front, I moved on to the sides. I kept using the same bit in the Dremel because it was good at removing stock. I made one more trip back to the bandsaw to even out an irregularity, and then the hand sanding could begin. 120 grit sandpaper was used, and boy, was there some orange dust. After the sanding, when the pen marks were gone, I could see that there were areas where the details could be improved. The Dremel came out again. I also cleaned up the bottom of the grooves between the tines. The last thing to sand was the spoon, and I'm sorry to say I don't have any footage of the finishing process. I presented the customer with 5 options for finishes: no finish, paste wax, spray shellac, spray satin polyurethane, and spray gloss lacquer. The spray gloss lacquer was chosen, and it moved the hue of the pieces in the red direction quite a bit. The pieces finished out at just under 18 inches long for the fork, 2 3/8 inches wide, and a nominal 1/4 inch thick. The spoon is just under 16 inches, 3 5/8 inches wide, and the same nominal 1/4 inch thickness. Well, there it is. I certainly hope that the recipient grandmother enjoys them as much as I enjoyed making them. Thank you for watching, and call your grandmother. Here's another video you might like.